Good afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is Bob Acanfrio, liveweatherblogs.com meteorologist with a tropical update for Tuesday, September 28, 2010. Tropical Depression 16 has formed today. It formed as of 11 a.m. This is the 2 p.m. advisory. Maximum sustained winds were 35. Movement was to the north-northeast at 10. So here it is. It's just south of Cuba here, the center of circulation. Most of the weather, which I'll show you in a minute, is well off to the east and actually to the southeast. The Cayman Islands look like they're bearing the brunt of this system today. So most of the rain and the heaviest winds are off to the east and southeast of the center right in here. So that's where track's really going to become. This is going to be one of those lopsided systems that get tangled up with a frontal boundary. We've seen this a lot of times, especially as we move towards the fall and these systems move up the east coast. We see lopsided systems like this a lot of times. So most of the worst weather and winds are going to be off to the east. So that's why you see, look how far east the tropical storm warnings extend. Bahamas aren't even near the cone, but they're in the tropical storm. Tropical storm warnings because heaviest winds are going to be well east of the center. And you see along the west coast of Florida, not much. We have tropical storm watches on the west coast up to Chokoloskee, Florida, so right in this yellow right here. Now, depending on where this low is going to go, which should be Tropical Storm Nicole, possibly by 5 o'clock. I just been getting everything together here, and I haven't looked at recon yet to see if we have tropical storm force winds or not. But looking at the models this afternoon come in, it looks like this might shift a little farther west with the track. So we might see a track more like this, and possibly, over Lake Okeechobee or just to the east. So a little shift west. So that could still bring some of these tropical storm force winds along the southeast coast here. So anywhere there's a tropical storm warning now from Jupiter Inlet, which is right here down to the Florida Keys, and then a tropical storm watch north of Jupiter Inlet to Sebastian Inlet. And if this track shifts a little farther west, we might have to shift this tropical storm watch up the coast a little farther north. So it'll be interesting to see if there's any shifts there in that for Florida. But again, not much on the west coast because most of the weather will be to the east of this system. Looking at the satellite this afternoon, and you can see this is where all those heaviest winds are right here. You see Cayman Islands, Little Cayman, Cayman Brac right out in here. So all this is where the heaviest of the weather is right now, and probably the strongest winds right in this eastern and southeastern semicircle. The actual center's right in here, but you can see it's pretty void of convection right now. We're going to be seeing a lot of shear off from the southwest and west as this system moves north. So again, strongest weather will be to the east here of this system. And again, looking at this is the frontal boundary we're going to watch as Nicole moves to the north-northeast. It's going to ride this frontal boundary. You can see the front, it's probably about as far as it's going in Florida now. So, I mean, just by looking at this satellite view, you would think Nicole's going to, just follow my pointer, is going to come right here, probably go over near the Key West area, and then right like this, possibly right over Lake Okeechobee or just to the east, and then exit the Florida coast like this. So again, that means the heaviest weather will be extreme southeast Florida, right in here, heaviest winds and rain. And again, this is a rainfall event for southeast Florida. Winds, we might see 35 to 40 mile per hour winds. I'm thinking if Nicole could kind of get itself together a little bit the next 24 hours, maybe maximum sustained winds 45 to 50. That would be well east of the center, possibly over the Bahamas. The northwest and central Bahamas would probably get the brunt of the winds. And southeast Florida, maybe in the term of around 35 to 40 mile per hour winds. But rain, we've seen rainfall starting to increase across the Florida Peninsula already this afternoon. So rain's going to be the biggest effect with this system. And here's that shear. And you can see the shear, 20, 30 knots of shear. And this is really going to be the trend here with the shear. As this system moves to the north-northeast, it gets wrapped up in this frontal boundary, and the shear is really going to knock it. So most of the weather is going to be to the east of the center. Just looking again at the radar this morning, and you could see all this moisture just moving up the Florida Peninsula. It's about from I-4 south right now. Here's I-4, here's Orlando, Tampa, and here's Miami down in here. Here's the Keys, and you can see just this slug of moisture coming up from the southeast. Nicole's still way down here, and you can see all this moisture. Basically convergence with the front and this tropical moisture. It's already, like I said, a lot of heavy rainfall already across Florida, and this will continue for the next 24 to 36 hours. And then looking at the radar, this is out of Cuba here, and you can see there's a circulation right here. And like I said, this is where the heaviest winds are, right in this area here to the east and southeast of the center. The center's right about here. And just to show you, this is from the National Weather Service out of Miami, and you can see this is where the biggest impacts look to occur during the day on Wednesday, and through most of the day Wednesday into Wednesday evening. This is where the impacts are going to be across Florida with heavy rains and flooding. So West Palm Beach down to Fort Lauderdale, Miami, and then from Naples to the south, as all this moisture really piles up in this area. And again, from the from NOAA here, then the HPC here showing you, look how much rain is going to be here. 6 to 5, probably 4 to 7 inches of rain here, extreme southeast Florida. And then again, once that system Nicole moves north, now the National Hurricane Center is saying this could become kind of get tangled up in the front and lose tropical characteristics. Yeah, you know, that's going to be pretty debatable with this system. I'm thinking probably not. And actually, the system could really start, once it gets tangled up into that front and gets baroclinic in nature, it could really start cranking out here as it approaches the South Carolina, North Carolina coast, looking like more like a South Carolina second landfall here. And this is where some heavy rains, and probably might even see our strongest winds out of this system, could be here across South Carolina, North Carolina coastline. So, and that would be for the Thursday time frame here. So you guys are really going to have to be careful of that as this thing moves up the coast. And again, here's the models, and you can see a little shift to the west in the models. This is GFDL, HWRF, the NOGAPS models in here, UK Met, and you can see everybody kind of a little west. That's what I'm saying. This thing could probably take a track like this, possibly over Lake Okeechobee, exit near Cape Canaveral, and then head on up towards South Carolina here. So that's what this is looking like right now. And again, that would put the heaviest weather to the east. So right in this area here, southeast Florida, and then another big heavy event up for the day on Thursday from South Carolina here through North Carolina, right in this area up in here. GFDL, and this is for valid for tomorrow afternoon, and you could see here it is about a pretty decent tropical storm. GFDL has this up to 63 knots. Not thinking it's going to be that strong, but as far as path goes, looking like it's going to move right over Key West according to this model. And then if we move this out a little ahead in time, and you can see where this is going to approach the exit near Cape Canaveral according to the GFDL, and then right here approaching, and this is valid for Thursday around noontime, approaching the South Carolina coast here. As a hurricane, that's what the GFDL has it, but it could be kind of baroclinic in nature here, so whether it will be fully tropical still or not, but like I said, this could be packing a punch here as it moves across this area, so be on the lookout. And again, here's the GFS showing that same, just like the GFDL into South Carolina, tries to spin up another system near the Bahamas this weekend, pushes that off to the northeast as this trough really stays hold. And then how about another system later next week trying into the Caribbean? And this looks like this is going to be the case. And just depending on where these troughs set up will depend on how far west these systems come. If we could keep this trough entrenched here and have all these systems push off to the east, hey, we'll see what happens. But got to be on the lookout for a couple systems coming out of the Caribbean in the next, probably the next 7 to 10 days easily, maybe even beyond that as this area stays active. And then again, looking at the Euro model. Now the Euro model has a little stronger trough here across the east coast. So what happens is, again, first system go by, there goes Nicole, and then over the weekend to early next week, we have a couple systems still dancing around here near the Bahamas, another system out here. So again, be on the lookout. We'll have to see what happens, which way these systems may go. And then looking at the bigger picture, there's Nicole and it's all of its moisture. Also, I showed you this area last night. National Hurricane Center now has a yellow circle around this area. So this will be an area to watch. Some of the models move this west-northwest and try to develop it just north of the island. So again, hey, be on the lookout for this guy and we'll see. Could it make it all the way west? Looks like we're going to maintain kind of troughiness along the east coast. So eventually this could just come and move out to sea. But just keep an eye on this little area of disturbed weather out here as well. So that'll be it for my tropical update this afternoon. I will have another update for you guys tomorrow morning. Again, biggest threat for Nicole for Southeast Florida is going to be the heavy rainfall. Ready rainfall starting for them this afternoon, and that'll continue through the day tomorrow. So watch out for flooding in that area. Stay tuned to liveweatherblogs.com for your latest weather information. Have a good rest of your Tuesday. Take care.